Hit it.
All right. Hello and welcome back to ATK. Shoot. Hello and welcome back to Silent Film Fridays, where the films are silent, but the hosts are not. We've been on hiatus for about 3 weeks, so it's good to be back. Joining me today, as per usual, is my co-host, Dr. Tiffany Knoll.
Hi, I'm a professor with the Department of the Department of Popular Culture at Bowling Green State University. But Al, you tend to call me something different than Dr. Knoll.
Yeah, I typically just call you Mom.
All right.
Pretty cool.
I like it.
Yeah.
So tonight's film is spooky, but it's spooky in the same way that A Christmas Carol or Carol for Another Christmas or, oh goodness, It's a Wonderful Life could be considered spooky. This one leans a little more supernatural and a little less horror, but the effect is no less haunting.
Oh, solid.
Hey,
Fiendy. Welcome in. Good to see you.
I'm glad you're here.
Oh, I just want to hop right into it at this point.
Let's do it. Let's just go.
Yeah, this film's almost 2 hours.
No, it isn't. It might be a matter. It might be a matter of how it's being run. So if it's being run at 24 frames per second, you might want to fast forward this part, kid.
Fair enough.
There we go. The runtime that I was seeing,
existential dread, my favorite. Yes.
The runtime I was seeing on it, Alex, is an hour 33.
Okay.
So that's what I was basing that statement on.
Fair enough. I remembered and didn't sidetrack. Solid.
I'm just glad you're here, friend.
Yeah. Me too. So.
Yeah, about this movie. I'm going to let us get to the credits. Now, the one thing I do want to point out is that this style of credits might actually look really familiar to you. If you go ahead, Al. What do you think?
Oh, yeah. That looks...
What?
That looks French. Or... No? Maybe.
No, what I was trying to get at with the opening credits is that they look very similar to those of Monty Python and the Holy Grail, as far as the setup and the increasingly Scandinavian names being used.
Fair enough.
Oh, I don't like that galloping consumption idea.
Oh, well, when you have ghosts in your blood, you just gotta do cocaine about it.
Okay, thank you, Alex. That was... Wow.
I mean...
Is that quoted from somewhere else? Because if not, that's brilliant.
It is definitely not an original thought of mine, for sure. I don't know where it's from.
Oh, I'm writing it down so I can look it up.
Fair. Don't fret over those poor souls now, Sister Edit. Sister Edit? What is she editing?
Edith. It's the Swedish version of Edith.
Fair enough.
Although, frankly, the very idea of, oh, well, okay, now, if she's got galloping consumption, what's she doing lying down?
Being consumed?
Well, given that this is an adaptation,
Mm-hmm.
and this book
Hey,
was
Bartholomew,
originally.
welcome in.
Hey! Nice to see you, Jonathan. So, as I was saying,
Mm-hmm.
this particular book well, excuse me, the book on which this film is based was released in 1912 and had everything to do with a public health crisis in Sweden. It was
Really?
tuberculosis, and tuberculosis was often also referred to as consumption. Now,
Fair
I'm still
enough.
trying to figure out the galloping part though.
It's hmm. I would just guess that means that it's real bad.
Well, I'm the wrong kind of doctor to be able to say, aha, it is consumption. But
True.
what I am the right kind of doctor for is looking everything up.
Yeah. We need research doctors.
That is me.
Yes. Careful, doctor.
Oh, wow.
It's the vision that makes them clap coconuts together. There you go.
Thank you. I'm so glad that you brought the Monty Python thing back around.
Yeah. Hmm.
Okay.
Ooh, nice hat. You can't be serious.
Okay, it
Asking David
has,
at home.
Al, you are absolutely right.
Yeah?
Yeah, weight loss and the so-called wasting away associated with tuberculosis led to the popular 19th century name of consumption, as the disease was seen to be consuming the individual.
Yeah.
And when when it's going really fast, then it is known as galloping consumption.
Well, there you go.
We have
Right
all
there in
learned
the
something
name.
today. Yep.
Yeah,
Well,
no kidding.
people called all sorts of weird things.
Oh,
So
yeah.
it's just say, just a minute. Nah.
I don't think she's moving.
No, she's alive,
Just sleeping.
just not well.
Understandable.
What I really like is that this just throws the viewer directly into the dilemma.
Yeah.
There's not a whole lot of introduction. It's just, hello, there it is.
This is where we start our story. We will go until the
Yes,
end.
exactly.
Yeah. It's good storytelling.
So as it turns out, the woman who wrote this book, her name is Selma. Let me see, Selma Lagerlöf
Hmm.
or Lagerlöf, and this is the second adaptation of her work that was filmed by our director of the evening, Victor, and let me make sure I get that last name right. Oh, bother. Oh, yeah, Sjostrom. Anyway,
Solid.
Sjostrom ended up directing 4 films
Hmm.
based on her work. Not only that, but Lagerlof was also a recipient of a Nobel Prize, and this is in the 19 teens.
A Nobel Prize
And
for what?
I've been trying to track that down. It says Nobel Prize. Maybe they didn't have the different categories in the 19 teens. Let's
Yeah,
find out.
fair.
Oh, golly.
Ah.
Sorry, Al.
No, you're
Uh-oh.
fine. Looks like the doctor has arrived. I wasn't able to find him, but Gustavson was looking too. Bring him back here if it's at all possible. Most excellent.
I am looking up her specific. Oh, goodness. I'm looking up her specific Nobel Prize.
Thank you. So, Mom sent me a couple questions to go along with this that we're going to answer. Or at least I'm going to try and answer them.
Well, we can answer them together.
Yeah.
When I sent those over, that was more my brain is a bag of cats at the moment, and, well, here's how I was trying to get everything out of my head and onto paper. It looks like it was the Nobel Prize in Swedish literature.
How oddly specific.
Yes, I thought so. Additionally, she was so well regarded that she was admitted to the Swedish Academy, which is the body that it's the body that oversees the awarding of the Nobel Prize.
Nice.
Okay, that looks like that was very nearly a murder.
I mean, I must admit I was a little bit consumed by choking on coffee, so I missed it.
But you were being consumed also? Boy, you might want to turn down the acid. You might want to turn the acid down in your coffee, my dear.
Yeah.
All right, for those of us who are watching at home, what we've got here is we have one person who has consumption, and also being seen in this same charitable house is the wife of David Holm, who has David Holm has terrorized his wife and children. He drinks a lot. And the reason that there was very nearly a murder is because the woman who was about to do a murder didn't want her husband to come back, even though the almost dead lady, the dying lady, was asking for him in specific. And speak of the devil, and he appears.
Yeah.
Jonathan, same. I would have been very worried.
Yeah, bit spooked.
A bit spooked, to say the very least.
Yes.
Now, one of these gentlemen is the director. I believe it's that guy with the smoking. He's held up by himself, so pretty sure that's David.
That seems like a director move. That seems like a director. Yeah. We're just telling ghost stories right now.
Nothing to worry about. Nothing to see here. We're good.
Yeah.
Just telling ghost stories like one does with one's pals.
Yeah, 'tis the season.
Except that this film is set on New Year's Eve.
Ah.
And, looks like we're just about to get a lovely little mystery.
Wait for the midnight hour. Then you'll see.
You see, that's when everything goes bad.
Yeah. It's always midnight.
That's also a good observation. I mean, I understand why.
Yeah. It's guaranteed dark out.
unless you're in Alaska during the middle of the summer.
True. Mm.
Can personally verify.
He came from a good family and studied at a university.
It was Uppsala University. Oh, by the way, Alex, as it
Mhm.
turns out, although we don't necessarily have connection to this film,
Mhm.
one of your family lines comes from Sweden.
Solid.
It's on your dad's side.
That somehow does not surprise me.
Why do you say you're not surprised?
I have very European descendancy.
Oh, my goodness, yes. You've
Yes.
got enough German in there to choke a pony. But
Yeah.
anyway, just drawing the, hey, we have something in common with this film. Y'all, somewhere along the line, both originated from Sweden.
Fair. Hmm. But a change would never come over. Too slow.
So, but a change would come over him on New Year's Eve.
Ah. Have we met the villain? I think we've met the villain.
I wouldn't be so fast on the draw with deciding before you've seen anything
True.
that somebody's the villain in this piece.
You got a good point there. Could be that guy in the back with the hair and mustache.
Alex, everybody on that screen has hair and a mustache.
Yeah, the one in the back.
There are two of them in the back. Oh no, Cat, why?
Perhaps.
So the book on which this is based is called Thy Soul Shall Bear Witness. And I would challenge you to keep that in mind while we're watching this, because it's about to get spooky.
I mean, I should hope so.
Well, I don't know, the possibility of losing great quantities of money from gambling? Yeah, that sounds spooky.
Stressful, perhaps. Spooky. I wouldn't necessarily go there.
Okay, but I'm sorry, but I wouldn't want to be losing money in this economy.
True.
Oof! Ow! Okay, careful. These boys are playing far too rough now.
Yeah, well, when you've been drinking and smoking and playing cards.
Yes,
Tis
because
the
it's
thing.
that playing cards that just really puts you right over the edge of propriety.
Yep. Last straw, Whoever dies on this eve must drive death's carriage. It's guaranteed employment. Sorry.
No, I was just thinking there's a similar myth that says that the last person to be buried in a churchyard before the stroke of midnight on New Year's Eve is appointed to protect the churchyard for a year.
I see.
And according to the legend, they started burying a black dog at that point so that there wouldn't have to be a human attached to it.
That's Well, that's a little screwed up. Going
All
out of
right,
their way
well,
to spray a black dog every year. Sounds like some sacrifice crap to me.
yeah, Shirley Jackson called.
Mm-hmm.
And right here, we've got one of the first things that makes this film unique.
High death. Night and day, he must carry out his master's business.
Jonathan, I'm with you. I would not want to be a black dog at the end of the year.
Yeah. End of part 1. The Phantom
Okay,
Carriage part 2. Real change.
honestly, I'm kind of glad that they have those transitional spots. Here's where Act 1
Yeah.
ends. That's a very see-through horse.
That is an incredibly see-through horse.
This film is notable for several reasons, but one of the most, I would say, impressive is that when those transparency effects were being produced,
Mm-hmm.
it was being done through what's called double exposure. And sometimes they would not just stop with 2 exposures. Sometimes they would keep going up to 4 times. Oh, warning everybody, it
My
looks like there
guy.
may be an impending suicide.
My guy. Rule number 1 about gun safety. Don't look
Don't
down the
point it
barrel.
at your face.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. We have...
Body 1.
We have a Darwin Award.
Okay, I would actually ask you to reconsider that idea because that taking of one's own existence is not necessarily
Fair point.
to do with that, because I'm pretty sure that this
Yeah,
guy,
that is specifically going out in a really dumb way. That's just... Yeah. Sorry.
Whoa! Oh,
Poor taste.
okay, I was not prepared for Cloak and Scythe guy to just chuck the other guy's soul into the back of the carriage.
I mean... He sure is just doing his job.
Ooh. All right.
Ooh. That's
Of
rough.
course. Yeah. One soul slightly bruised. Oh, wow. So they're seahorses now.
Yeah. Well, you know, that's gotta cover all types of unfortunate incidents.
High risk factors, as they called it in Dead Like Me.
Yeah. You know, being a Grim Reaper is a tough job.
That's what I've heard. And the pay is non existent.
Exactly. This poor guy. He's just having a real bad day. I bet this must have been...
I know.
What's up?
Go ahead, Al.
This must have
No.
sucked to film for him.
Maybe. Probably not, though, because a lot of these effects were actually accomplished on the camera. So you would have film that you had previously imprinted something on, and then you would put something else on top of it.
I guess yeah, I'm just talking about the guy who was just hanging out in the really rough waters. There.
Alex.
Yeah, that sure is another one.
Wow.
So, I guess expect a handful. And you're right, it probably would pay better to drive the ferry.
Agreed.
Goodbye, sir. See you next time.
Were you talking about the dead guy or were you talking about your cat?
Oh, the Grim Reaper.
Oh.
Gotta catch 'em all. Yeah.
Oh.
It's people Pokemon.
I can't unhear it, Alex.
I've used that same description for Persona, so
Fair enough. Fair enough.
the last soul to die is the one who passes over the stroke of midnight. Is destined to be Death's driver for the following year. Yeah. Now you know why I'm afraid of something fatal happening to me on New Year's Eve. What a wild thing to claim, honestly.
The way that this movie uses flashbacks in flashbacks is really, really interesting. Did you
True.
notice the way that
We
they were
did.
able to differentiate?
Yeah, we totally did go down a couple rabbit holes.
Uh-huh. And you could tell that it was a different time because of the tint on the film.
Dang. I didn't actually notice that, but you're right.
I know.
Why hasn't Gustav arrived?
Gustafsson, why?
Gustafsson. Oh, right. Come with me, David Holm. Oh. Yeah, she's having a rough time.
I thought she was having some kind of an out-of-body experience because her face is very, very peaceful.
Are you kidding? That looks like constipation face. Just... Oh, Alex, got something real bad going on. Wait a minute, I thought he started telling that story around 8 p.m. I may surely be wrong. But that was one heck of a long story. Really?
Well, that's the problem. You get lost and turned around in a flashback, and it takes you a minute to find your way back out.
Fair.
Well, I don't know about what you are anticipating. Oh, wait. Looks like a scuffle.
Guys, what were we just talking about? Alright, well... Oh. Well, I need to be ready. I feel like we're gonna have another corpse here in a second. No?
They might want to poke him with a stick.
Well, sounds like he has a job to do.
Worst job interview ever.
Yeah, no kidding. Like, you can tell that carriage has, like, no suspension. The seat's just gonna be awful.
Alex, do you think anybody cares? They're stacked in there like cordwood.
Hey, you know, when you're driving it for a year, it starts to matter. This is some really cool...
Aren't the effects just fantastic?
Yeah.
And this guy is just realizing he's about to have a very unhappy day.
I mean... What was that other guy just talking about?
Oh, you mean the one who's now the driver?
Yeah.
Oh, he did tell him.
Yep. They were all sufficiently warned and chose not to listen.
Okay, honestly, me when I have to unwind my legs after having sat all twisted up for a while.
Fair. Also, that horse is very well painted. I sure
you
hope
mean
that's a
with
painted horse.
you mean with the spine and the ribs?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, well done, special effects artist.
I realize I don't have quite as much to say with this. I am actually continuing to do some research while we're watching.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, this film ended up being tremendously influential, not just for Swedish film in specific, but also all the way up into the 1970s and 1980s, bare minimum as far as influence. This film was released in 1921, so we're 102 years out. Well, almost. In what might have been one of the smarter moves as far as scheduling, this film was released on New Year's Day 2021. Excuse me, 1921. And given the connection within the story, that's clever.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's solid.
Mm-hmm.
That's some pretty good marketing.
Swedish film got a little slower start than elsewhere in Europe and in the United States. But once they were established about 1911, they were off and running. Just no questions, no concerns. Jonathan, most excellent.
I'm waiting for something tragic to happen during this sequence.
You mean because there's a child and there's a body of water?
No, I was more concerned about the power tools, but like this movie definitely has me on edge about all of this.
Power tools? Alex, they didn't have power tools when this was filmed.
We're
Or
doing
when it was
something
written
with
about.
they were doing something with a block of wood.
Oh, actually, woodworking stuff. Yes, that I can see. You
Yeah,
say power tools, though, and I think, oh, you mean like the drill?
yeah. No, that's not. Oh, goodbye, hot
Or
water.
the electric screwdriver?
Yeah, you know the one power tool.
I thought that was the lathe.
No, that's just one of the most important tools.
Hey, at least it's not the belt sander.
No, but the belt sander is really fun.
Yeah.
Okay.
Look, everybody's happy.
Yeah, everybody's happy. We're all just enjoying a picnic. It's fine. Ah, but this was a different time. Oh no, life before the sonic screwdriver.
These were either tramps or they were buddies or something.
Fair.
Oh, Buddy's been out drinking.
Yep. My guy,
He's probably hungover.
he he's definitely got something going on. He's being
Okay,
rude about it though.
looks like the other one might be the brother,
Hmm.
and that might be her husband, the aforementioned David Holt.
Hmm.
As it turns out, both Lagerlof and our director of the evening,
Mhm.
sorry, I keep blanking on his name.
That's okay. That one's a doozy.
Yes, Sjostrom.
Sjostrom.
Anyway,
Mhm.
both of them actually had a really strong social justice streak. And
Yeah.
okay, so Lagerlof wrote a number of books that addressed things like public health issues and poverty. Well, Sjostrom was famous also for being a politically conscious artist. And he usually had really quite pointed political and ideological messaging that talked about things like how a widow and her children struggled to survive poverty in 1913 Sweden.
Hmm.
Allegedly, the social commentary of that movie was so overt that and I need some actual verification on this, but it is said to have actually inspired the Swedish government to make radical changes to the country's poor relief laws.
Hey, that doesn't sound like a bad thing.
No, not at all.
'Cause,
That
like,
really. Oh, go ahead, honey.
oh no, you go ahead.
Well, that really is the power of early cinema. While folks were still trying to figure out precisely what it was, film was being used by all sorts of people for all sorts of things. For example, there was an entire run of pro or anti-labor films that were coming out in the 19 teens.
Mm-hmm.
And you've got films like What Is to Be Done, which is the National Guard massacring 24 striking miners with their families, or Steve Hill's Awakening, which was produced by the New York Central Railroad, that supposedly revealed how thousands of railroad passengers were killed or injured in accidents caused by drunken railway workers.
Of course.
There was A Martyr to His Cause from 1911, where the Associated Federation of Labor,
Mm-hmm.
hang on, no, the American Federation of Labor, excuse me, sponsored this film that had as its plot business and local authorities kidnap union leaders so that they won't be able to engage in union activity.
Of course.
There's also The Crime of Carelessness from 1912 that was produced by the National Association of Manufacturers. These folks tried to argue that the sweatshop fire at the Triangle Shirtwaist, well, or something similar to what happened at the Triangle Shirtwaist Company,
Mm-hmm.
where 146 women were killed.
Yeah.
They're trying to say, oh yes, it was a careless cigarette smoking employee and had nothing to do with the safety conditions in the building.
Of course. Nothing at all.
Nope,
Because,
nothing to see here.
that's only one of the it's that's one of the big events that's really covered in history class.
As well it should be.
Mm-hmm.
I was learning about this when I was prepping for class this week, because we were talking about union.
Yeah, pay no attention to the chain exits. It's fine.
We talked about the development of unions in Hollywood, and then we talked about specifically the Screen Cartoonists Guild.
Mm-hmm.
It was good. But getting back to our filmmaker and our film of the week, because film was still being figured out as a medium, it meant that there were opportunities for people to make films that would, even just a couple of years later, not be made.
Right.
Another example of a very socially conscious filmmaker is American Lois Weber, who ended up releasing films that addressed things like contraception and poverty and corporate greed and I think you get the idea.
Yeah. Still
So,
horrifyingly relevant topics to this day.
unfortunately. But that was really, I would say, the beauty of early film,
Yeah.
that the rules weren't written yet. That was still a work in progress.
Yeah. As with any new and emerging technology.
Once it became much more corporately controlled,
Mm-hmm.
then we start running into some issues.
Yeah.
Oh, speaking of issues,
Ooh. That's no good.
well, given the circumstances, I completely understand why she dipped.
Yeah.
Oh, that crossfade like that? That was lovely.
Mm. No, she's not ill. She was well enough the other day when she left.
Oh, that look from the landlady or neighbor. That is what we call judgment phase.
Hmm.
You can almost hear them biddy right in front of him.
Oh, absolutely.
So he gets out of jail and finds out that his wife has absconded with the children and
Yep.
left no forwarding address.
Hmm. Yeah, he's having
Getting
a day.
is he getting all oh, they're laughing at him. Oh my God.
Well, he was kind of yelling at the door.
Oh, well, okay. Well. That I'll find her and show her how it feels when her heart freezes.
I see. Dude, breathe. Please. I know he's not going to, but...
There's a cup right there on the counter, dude.
He just got so thirsty from being angry.
I suppose that'll happen.
Hmm. Oh, he's totally telling his life story.
Yep.
That's what's going on.
This is very much a ghostly "This Is Your Life."
Yeah.
Also, same category as the aforementioned A Christmas Carol
Yeah.
and It's a Wonderful Life. This just got there first. Now, the book on which this is based, it came out after A Christmas Carol was published, but nevertheless, it really just seemed like it's in that end of year, minimal sunlight during the day,
Yeah.
kind of just that the end of the year for a lot of people is just a point where everything just gets cold and dark and you have to wait for the sun to come back out again,
Mhm.
which makes it a natural match for ghost stories.
Yeah. I mean, it's already conveniently dark out there.
Yeah.
Perfect atmosphere.
I just found a sounds of our house that I think, well, it's not necessarily relevant, but at least it's good. So, do you like raw fish? Yes, that's why I've been banned from the aquarium.
Yeah.
Things to say at a sushi restaurant.
Absolutely.
The slum station? Okay, I realize it's Swedish, but did it have to be so on point?
Dang.
Also, do you recognize the woman on the left? The blonde who just went to the door?
Um. Oh, she's the one who had tuberculosis at the beginning.
Yes, that's right.
Nice.
Mm.
Keep your food. I just want to sleep.
Does
Okay.
he not understand that food absorbs alcohol, so he won't feel quite so trash?
Yeah.
Oh,
I don't think he's too concerned about that right now.
fair enough. So this film was released in 1912. No, excuse me. The book was released in 1912. This
Mhm.
was released in 1921.
Yeah.
And World War One happens in between.
Oh.
How do you think that's going to change the audience reception going from book pre-World War One to this post-World War One?
Hmm. Yeah.
I was thinking
That's a
about
fair
that
point.
quite a lot today. Oh, you were saying, sweetie?
That's a fair point. That's all I said.
Mm. Well, we know where she got consumption from.
Yep.
Man, worst this is your life ever.
Wait, I thought tuberculosis was transmitted through water.
You know, that's cholera.
Oh, my mistake. Lots of trauma. Yeah.
I mean, depending on how you squint, this movie could potentially be read as something that is supposed to be in support of temperance.
Yeah.
However, I'm fairly certain, and I'm pretty sure I just read this, that was not the creator intention with this film.
I mean, it doesn't seem like it. It just seems
No.
like there are a lot of drunk characters.
Well, also, that kind of moralizing wasn't something that was of interest to the director.
Yeah.
Something like this, where you're actually trying to consider the state of somebody's soul, that seems to be a much more a much richer idea.
Hmm. Hmm.
Wow. He's the
First
first
guest.
one in the door?
Yep.
Dude. Hey, I'm just about to be doing that very same thing with a hat.
Okay.
Literally, I have my sewing right here on the desk.
I mean, it's a pretty good time.
One of the things that I was considering as I was prepping for this tonight
Hmm.
was how did European films, including animation, function as public service platforms? I know this mostly from the animation angle
Hmm.
because in the very early days of screen animation, what you basically had were, in the US, you had character driven and concept driven cartoons being developed. In Europe, on the other hand, a lot of these were being developed for short form media, in essence. So commercials
Uh-huh.
or public service videos or films. So, for example, there's at least two or three British films that revolve around hygiene.
I see.
And that is just an example.
The icy chill of winter, indeed.
What? She didn't match the fabric? Absurd. He just threw his cigarette on the ground.
Yeah, he's definitely sick.
Uh-huh. Every time he coughs, I get anxious.
Yeah, that's fair. I'm just... It just makes me kind of sad. Because, like, we already know what's coming out of this. Because it's a flashback.
Yeah.
Was it you who mended my coat? Would you mind calling calling the person who did this? Oh boy.
I I don't know about you, but I have anxiety about that.
Yeah.
He wasn't able to button it shut before.
Yeah.
Uh, sorry, I'm just big anxious at the moment.
Yeah, no, this is definitely suspenseful.
Oh, I don't know about anybody else, but I would really rather she not stand quite so close. Knew it. Oh, wow.
Dang, dude.
Oh, at
Brutal.
that point, yeah, you just kick him out. I am appalled.
But why? Why would you do that? Other than to just be rude.
He's a villain. I mean, really, that's That's pretty clear.
Fair. You see, I prayed that our first guest would have a good year. A villain indeed. Oh, I'll be here. Oh, no. That sounds... That feels so much like a threat.
Yeah.
I see.
Oh, so yeah, not only did she patch your coat, you killed her.
Yeah.
So well done.
You possessed all that was most wonderful, but you lost it. You cannot avoid the torment of remorse. Just as you cannot escape taking over as Death's driver. Lots of trauma. He's trying.
Oh my goodness, he's trying.
This man's just like, yeah, good luck with that. Yeah.
Oh, that's just sad.
Yeah. I mean, again, you were warned.
I really like how George is just standing there, just like, hello.
He really wanted to not be dead.
Relatable.
Mm. Oh. Yes. Oh. Yes.
Okay, I'm sorry. You're choosing to fight the personification of death.
He sure is.
Oh,
And he's going to lose.
oh, he just did.
It's like he sure has a job to do now.
Okay, the way he was moving his hands, it almost made it look like dude on the ground was being wrapped up in wire.
I mean,
Oh, oh,
kinda, yeah.
uh, just the way he picked him up just there. Whew.
Yeah, it's moving day. Ooh,
Moving day. My
ooh.
goodness.
That was good. That was a good transition.
Hmm. Excuse me.
Nah, I didn't get him to come back with me. He died.
He is literally being dragged into this.
I mean, heck, the previous driver, at this point, I'm sure, does not want to put up with this crap. Again, this man is just doing his job.
Now, although World War One kicked off as of 1914,
Mm-hmm.
Sweden and the other Nordic countries decided not to be involved. So we had each of the Scandinavian countries that said, so we got Norway, we had Sweden, we had Denmark. We didn't have Finland. Finland was still considered part of the Russian Empire at this point.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, these other three countries are just like, yeah, we're going to be neutral. We're not getting in the middle of any of this. Thank you very much.
That's an ideal position, if you ask me.
Now, that's not to say that Sweden and Norway got along with each other, because they didn't.
I mean, it's two European powers.
Yeah.
Sounds about right. Oh. Are we bargaining?
I
see.
guess she's bargaining? My goodness. Oh, so we're doing life for a life here. Got it.
I see. Yeah, I mean, he already kind of died.
Alex, he's either dead or he's not dead. Kind of alive is how you get zombies.
True.
I love that. Lady, you tried to fix him, and he's just going to disappoint you.
Yeah.
Oh. Hi, Michael. Welcome to the stream.
He's only mostly dead. Fair point. Like,
oh. I'm guessing that's his wife.
yes. Yeah, I can see how people would associate this with the temperance movement.
You know, he's probably had just enough carbs that he is dead weight at this point.
It was you who enticed him away from his home and his work. You made him a drunkard. You made him the drunkard he is. I see.
Ah, yes. The drunkard he is today. Now, let's not have an assault charge, lady.
Yeah.
Only mostly.
Yeah.
Uh-oh. So, this film is actually in the company of a very elite group of films. So, in addition to this film,
Mhm.
other films that came out almost simultaneously were films like The Cabinet of Dr. Caligari and Nosferatu. Each of these films ended up utilizing the same, essentially, filming techniques, in that all of them rely heavily on what is referred to as German Expressionism.
Hmm.
German Expressionism is where the psychological condition of the characters is expressed in the extremes that you get in a lot of the settings. So, sharp angles and lines and stark colors, or rather, lack thereof, as
Mhm.
far as colors go. Yeah, that is all, that's all markers of that particular period.
Right. The last German Expressionist film we watched on the channel, that was a real good one.
I think that was Nosferatu, wasn't it?
No, maybe it was. It totally was Nosferatu.
Ah,
That's definitely what I'm thinking of. Good film.
There it is, Salvation Army. Uh,
What a
when the
long
Salvation Army,
saved.
what was
Sorry.
that?
I was just reading the card.
Ah,
Go on.
now when the Salvation Army was originally formed, it was formed as part of the progressive movement of
Mhm.
the late 1800s. It was literally meant to encourage temperance and to try to save souls for God.
Of course.
Mhm. It was originally operated in many ways much like a ministry,
Hmm.
but over time, the historical intent of the Salvation Army has definitely evolved.
Yeah, it really has. And-
Well, remember that the Salvation Army was founded as a a Christian ministry organization.
Yeah. And, historically.
Hmm. But what that also means is that the perspective on Christianity at that point in the organization's history would have been very, very narrow and very influenced by, well, I guess it depends on where the branch is. We're talking the US, very influenced by the evangelical, yeah, Second Great Awakening kind of presentation with
Mhm.
revivals and so on.
I see.
So you've got that particular branch of Christianity. Oh, oh, snap. Well, dude is
Ooh.
just about to be told.
Sure seems that way. Ah, getting the band going again. Seems.
Speaking of bands,
Hmm.
Salvation Army groups are very well known for having bands.
Hmm.
Hey there, Sage Hill.
Hello, Sage Hill. Hmm.
Uh-oh. Did he just see his wife? Oh no. Yep.
Hmm.
Oh, dude knows. Oh, whoa. Okay, I hate to say this, but I seem to recall seeing a similarly expressed intention during COVID.
Yes,
You remember that?
I do remember that.
Ugh.
Nothing if not
So,
infuriating.
so what is the lesson we learned from linking those two concepts together, Al?
Well, avoid it like the plague doesn't apply. Never applied.
No. But additionally, that self-centered, I do what I want regardless of what anybody else might need.
Yeah.
Yeah, that train of thought existed then too.
Oh yeah.
And I promise I'm not trying to be overtly political about it. It's just we got the history record right there in front of us. We
Yep.
can see it.
100 years ago.
Yep.
Right there. Plain text.
I will admit that piece is still frustrating.
Yeah.
You know, if this were a modern American, a modern Hollywood film,
Hmm.
these two would fall in love with each other.
I mean, she has already expressed interest by the like in the middle of the last reel.
Yeah, exactly, Jonathan.
But I'm an individual. I have my rights. Yeah. Yeah.
You see, the thing about it is that I wasn't really getting romantic off of her. I was getting more love him in the pure love of Christ kind of a way, a
Gotcha.
soul to be saved.
Right.
No, if it were a modern film, yeah, it would probably have a romantic bent to it.
Hmm.
That is, yeah. I'm sorry, you don't. I would have a
Yeah, this
very difficult
guy
time.
this guy is
Go
kind
ahead.
of a rude to say the very least.
Yes, that's the polite way to put that, Al.
Yes. Hmm.
Also, just I know I just went back to this a moment ago, but
Mhm.
the whole, well, I've got consumption, why should anybody be any better than me? It just, mm, darn you, director from 102 years ago.
Yeah.
Feelings.
Uh,
All right, so what they're doing right now would be referred to as a sort of fellowship or fellowship hour.
yeah. And post World War One, so we got some people in uniform.
I am his wife.
I couldn't endure the life he was living. I deserted him. Took my children and crept away in secret.
That is called doing the responsible thing as a mother.
Yes.
Actually, Al, you might be onto something there.
What's up?
Well, hang on. Let's take a look at this piece of dialogue in a little bit more action.
I don't remember what I said. The dangers. Oh boy. Yeah.
Yeah, she's too busy being noble to do anything else.
Yeah.
So as I mentioned at the top of the show tonight,
Uh-huh.
this director was tremendously influential on other directors, not only in Sweden, but also worldwide. And I would say that the director that probably has the closest affinity with this gentleman is Ingmar Bergman, who was the genius who brought us films like The Seventh Seal and Wild Strawberries, which, coincidentally enough, the director of this film was a featured star in.
Solid.
That was 1958 when that film came out.
Okay.
So,
So,
needless to say, Bergman kept his influences in mind. Purportedly, this is the film that Ingmar Bergman saw that convinced him that he needed to be a filmmaker.
I mean, this has been a pretty good film so far.
I mean, really, this film does hold its own, just even completely silent.
Yeah. She had gotten the
But,
better of herself.
oh, that doesn't sound good.
I see.
You doing okay over there, Al?
I am tired. I have a very warm kitty, a very warm, sleepy kitty in my lap.
Oh, you have furry little Prozac on legs.
Yep.
I get it. My little ball of fur is over in her green basket in the window, or by the window.
Oh, most excellent. Oh, creepy doll.
Yeah. That thing starts moving, we burn the house down.
Yep. I mean, I'm pretty sure this is the wrong genre for that, but, just keep an eye on it.
Aw, your kitty's snuggled up. The Lady Z, isn't
Good.
it? Or is it Terias? He's Sage Hill is kind of a cat whisperer now. Oh, Azizi.
Solid.
We love that girl. Oh, she got him cleaned up. Uh-oh. I keep watching the hand that isn't holding hers.
Yeah, there's definitely something that's going to go wrong here.
And remember, this is still in flashback.
Yeah.
Oh, what a good girl. Okay, there's the kids. Nice, nice.
Ooh. We're fine?
No,
No.
we're at a cliffhanger.
Oh, boy. Oh, boy.
Whew.
Uh...
All right. We've got a cop bringing presents. Got it. Got it.
The doctor says it's pneumonia, and her resistance is poor. She's been in ill health since last New Year's Eve. Fair.
That David Holm has been her undoing.
I see.
She's listening.
Yeah,
Oh,
she sure did just overhear you. Like, all of that.
yeah.
Hmm.
Oh no, not again. All right. So we've already had the inspiration that went to Ingmar Bergman,
Mm-hmm.
but I want you to watch what's about to happen and see if you can tell me what film pulled directly from this one. You'll see it in a minute. Or rather, you'll know it when you see it.
Oh boy. I have just nothing but bad feelings about all of this.
That is completely reasonable.
Oh, fair enough.
Uh,
Why? Oh boy.
uh, can you please leave those kids alone now? That would be nice.
Yeah. I'm uncomfy.
Oh, you might at least have the heart to refrain from infecting the children. He's running around with consumption,
Yes.
and he just, oh,
He is being.
ah,
He's. Yeah. He's the villain.
oh
He
yeah.
sure is.
I realize that I'm watching this through my subject position of, hey, we just lived through COVID,
Yeah, we just lived
but
through another pandemic.
yeah, but every time he coughs or spreads body fluids or something like that, I just, I cringe.
Yeah. And we're running again.
Yeah, correct, Captain Hammer.
There are bad guys, and then there are bad guys. Yes, this man, definitely the latter. You are more likely to break off the doorknob, sir. Oh,
Unless,
why is that in there? Oh, that's the goal.
ringing a bell, anybody?
Yeah. I think The Shining called.
Yes, yes, it did. Kubrick was so inspired that he straight lifted that sequence.
Yep, here
Oh,
it comes.
see? Here it is.
Oh,
Whoa, whoa.
the crack
Did
moved.
you see? It did. Yes, the shinning.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh, there's also a Lillian Gish film.
Broken Blossoms.
Yeah.
Yes, that one was released just before this one. It is unknown whether or not the director saw that film and framed it that way, or just if it is straight up coincidence, which in the early days of cinema
Uh,
happened a lot.
Fair.
Why do I
I'm
get the
willing to
feeling
bet.
he's. Oh, go ahead.
I'm willing to bet it's just coincidence. But he's definitely not doing this out of the kindness of his own heart.
Oh, this duder?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm confused.
Uh,
Oh,
yeah. He's just an abusive shitbag.
yeah.
Alright. There's no nice way to put this.
Oh, haven't you had your fill of revenge, David? And now he is literally being dragged through it.
Hmm. Yeah. I mean, it's about time somebody sat him down to reflect on his actions.
Well, it just took yoinking his soul out of his body to make that happen.
Yeah.
I mean, I understand that sometimes that's just how it is,
Hmm.
in that sometimes it be like that.
I heard that noise in the background. What noise?
Yeah, what noise?
Nothing to be concerned about. I think something may have fallen over in the background.
Well, could be yours or mine.
Most likely mine.
Hmm, Herbie.
Herbie's in my lap. He
Oh,
is straight chillin'.
good boy.
Mm-hmm. Ah, that one. Gotcha.
You know, I really do like the idea that the Reaper in this situation
Mm-hmm.
is just a guy named George.
Yeah,
That's it.
yeah, George the Reaper.
Hello, my name is George. I will be your Reaper today. I gotta admit, I really want to know what they did to that cloak to make it stand up like that.
Uh, Good way to stiffen clothing like that. Roll it around in the mud. Looks like what they did to it, honestly.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it?
Yeah.
You know, I when I think of 1921 films, I gotta say, I don't necessarily think about them in terms of this level of narrative sophistication.
Yeah.
I realize that some of them did exist, but when you watch movies like Nosferatu,
Hmm.
I mean, Nosferatu is great for a lot of reasons, but
Yeah, its story is
it yeah, thank you for getting that.
yeah.
Lord, please let my soul come to maturity before it is reaped. Let my soul come of maturity before it is reaped.
Yeah, that's what it said.
No underdeveloped souls here.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Ah, baby.
I like how she just walked right through the corner of the carriage
Mm.
or the wagon or what have you.
Well, she can't see it.
True. It was just a well filmed effect.
Okay.
Ah, he's going back to his own hovel.
Yeah. It's time to face the consequences of your actions. What was that about comparing this to A Christmas Carol?
Yep. Yeah, the book Thy Soul Shall Be Witness has been described as very Dickensian.
Hmm.
Okay, that doll with
Yeah,
the chunk missing out of its face.
it's seen better days.
Oh yeah. But I must go away and I cannot leave them behind.
Oh no. Don't don't do what I please don't do what I think you're gonna do. Ma'am? Uh okay.
Um,
What what's what you got there? Hmm?
I am fairly certain that she's about to make some sleepy time tea, if you take my meaning.
Uh yeah. Yes,
Is it me
David.
or is I'm obliged to watch? I must not shirk my duty. Oh,
Yikes.
correct. Honestly, this feels mm, almost more immediate than A Christmas Carol.
Yeah. I mean, it's, dude. We're taking a step back, and we're looking at all the people you've affected with your actions. How do you feel about that? I think that's
he's about
great.
to have it. I mean, honestly, I think he's about to have a come to Jesus moment.
Yes.
Literally.
Oh. I am a poor, miserable sinner, and I beseech the Lord of life and death. I am not worthy. I've broken every commandment. I say,
So,
Obi-Wan.
I'm sorry, but as soon as you said I'm not worthy, all I can think is, so you can't wield Mew Mew. It's okay.
Yeah, it's fine. Condemn me to eternal darkness. Let nothing remain of me. Do what you will to me, my lord, but spare the three of them. Oh. David, I say.
Oh, okay.
Captain, return
Captive.
to thy prison.
Oh,
I see. So, he
okay.
was not
Love the
actually
transport.
dead.
Or was he?
He died and then got better.
So should we be calling him David or should we be calling him Lazarus?
I mean, his name is David.
I know, but that particular trick just absolutely begs for somebody to just say, hmm.
Fair. I
Yes,
think I'll
definitely
go
going
for a
for a
walk.
walk.
Yes.
Is it a walk or is he going more for a stagger?
I feel happy. Amazing.
Okay, she's terrified, and I don't
Yes.
blame her. And he still has consumption.
Yes.
Whew. Okay, good. I was really afraid he was going to be staring down the camera lens, kind of in that reefer madness kind of a way.
Yeah. Holy cow, what a film.
Oh, Lordy.
So,
Okay,
so
good.
buddy boy, what you thinking?
In Wild Strawberries, Victor Sjostrom, I'm sorry, I cannot pronounce Swedish. Anyway, this actor here
Mm-hmm.
portrays a man again at probably the end of his life. And while he's on a road trip to go pick up an award,
Mm-hmm.
he ends up encountering figures from his past as hitchhikers.
Let's see.
So, at least for my money, this film and that film have a fair bit in common.
Yeah, no, that sounds. I mean, that sounds like an excellent film, honestly.
Well, the other thing about it is that, like David, this guy is emotionally stunted, damaged, doesn't really know how to interact with humans. You get the idea?
Yeah.
Yeah. So this little trip down memory highway is really there to help remind him, hey, you know how you've been all cold and dedicated to your job for all these years? Never really bothered to develop a human connection to anybody?
Hmm.
Yeah, well, hi, this is your life calling.
Yeah. That's the same guy? I never realized. Probably should have.
Yep, he plays the old
See,
professor in Wild Strawberries.
you say the old professor, and my brain automatically goes to Futurama.
Oh, good news, everyone.
Exactly. It's hard to believe, David, but I do believe you. Your tears have convinced me.
Surprise, they're crocodile tears.
You know, given how he's behaved in the past, sure, but at the same time, we sure did watch the rest of the movie.
Well, I what I'm really, really interested in
Hmm.
is whether, well, it's not like you can be cured of consumption.
Right. Yeah,
Sorry.
they're all dead. Like,
Yeah.
grand scheme of things.
It's funny that you should mention that
Hmm.
because there is one thing that came up in an article about this particular film.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's the idea that film is, in fact, a sequence of still photographs, frozen images, dead pictures brought back to life on the screen. We watch ghosts on more than one level with this film.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, every Friday night, we sure are watching ghosts.
And if that isn't perfect for this particular month and this particular season, I don't know what is.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, let's go ahead and let this run too,
Oh,
because
okay.
I think it would be interesting.
Well, there it is. Here's what here's what Mom's talking about. The 30. Yeah, this was the Criterion Collection's copy of this.
Again, just every time a film can be recovered and every time it can be conserved or restored, it's a gift every time.
Yeah, it truly is. All right.
Yeah,
So next week.
next week we're going to be hanging out with a golem.
Ooh, I think I know what film you're talking about. This is going to be a fun one.
Which one are you thinking?
I don't know the name of it. I think it's called The Golem, but I could be wrong.
Are you thinking the VHS tape that we picked up all those years ago from Video Spectrum when it closed?
Yeah, I'm thinking.
I think you're right. Because of the 3 films that were made in the Golem trilogy,
Mm-hmm.
we only have one in full. I think I saw something about fragments of the first one, but the second one is entirely lost. So
Right.
next time we're going to be talking about a little bit of folklore
Mm-hmm.
with what is a golem and why is it significant in German history. And we're also going to be talking about the development of not necessarily franchises in full, but definitely intellectual properties.
Yeah. I'm definitely excited for next week.
I'm looking forward to it too.
All right, well,
Well,
with that, thank you all for joining. Hope you have a good day, night, whatever it is, wherever you are. Hope to see you next time. Bye-bye.
good night.